Think reptiles are cold, emotionless creatures? Think again. New research is flipping the script, revealing that tortoises, lizards, and even snakes may feel more than we ever imagined. For decades, reptiles were seen as simple, instinct-driven animals. They didn't form bonds, didn't feel emotions, and certainly didn't care who was feeding them. Compared to mammals and birds, reptiles were written off as primitive ancient creatures that had survived through hardwired behavior rather than emotional depth. But now, science is telling a different story. A growing number of researchers are uncovering signs that reptiles experience a surprising range of emotions. One fascinating study from the University of Lincoln in the UK observed red-footed tortoises showing distinct preferences for familiar people. These tortoises not only recognized individual humans, but even showed signs of trust, approaching those they knew, and exhibiting calmer heart rates when handled by familiar people. That's not just a learned behavior, it's an emotional response. In another study, scientists looked at bearded dragons and noticed something remarkable: emotional contagion. When one lizard witnessed another experiencing stress, say, from a sudden movement or unfamiliar object, it mirrored that stress. The observer lizard would display similar body language and increased alertness. Even though it hadn't experienced the trigger directly, this points to the possibility of a basic form of empathis, something once believed to be exclusive to higher mammals. Digging deeper, we find that reptiles have more going on upstairs than once thought. While their brains are different from ours, it contains structures like the medial cortex, an evolutionary predecessor to the mammalian amygdala. The amygdala, as you might know, is central to emotional processing in humans. So, while reptiles might not cry or cuddle, they do seem capable of feeling basic emotional states like fear, anxiety, excitement, and even comfort. According to biologist Dr. Jonathan Balcom, this is not just anthropomorphism, it's biology. These responses aren't just instinctual, they're emotional reactions based on experience and memory. Real-life stories from reptile owners also back up the science. One woman shares how her tortoise, Winston, becomes visibly restless when she leaves the room. He waits by the door, sometimes pacing, and only calms down when she returns. Another keeper describes how her bearded dragon prefers sitting on her shoulder over its heat rock even though the rock is warmer. These are animals forming social bonds, choosing familiarity, and responding emotionally to their environment and companions. And these examples aren't isolated. Reptiles in sanctuaries and zoos are now being studied for signs of behavioral enrichment, whether they prefer certain sounds, colors, or even routines. When given the chance to make choices, many reptiles demonstrate preferences that align with comfort, curiosity, and even playfulness. It's subtle, but undeniable. These creatures have inner lives. This shift in understanding carries powerful implications. If reptiles can feel fear, stress, calm, or even something close to affection, then how we care for them both in homes and in the wild must evolve. It means that a snake kept in a tiny tank without stimulation might not just be physically limited, but emotionally deprived. It means that lizards and tortoises deserve more than just survival. They deserve environments where they can thrive. Recognizing emotions in reptiles isn't about turning them into pets with fur or assigning them human traits. It's about acknowledging that evolution has equipped them with more than we gave them credit for. It's about offering them respect, improved welfare, and ethical treatment. Conservation efforts, habitat design, and even veterinary care stand to improve dramatically with this shift in perspective. So the next time you see a lizard basking in the sun or a tortoise quietly following its human friend, remember, there's more going on beneath that scaly surface than meets the eye. They may not wag their tails or purr, but reptiles feel, and that changes everything. What do you think? Can reptiles really feel emotions, or are we just reading too much into their behavior? Share your thoughts in the comments. Give this video a thumbs up if it opened your eyes. And don't forget to subscribe for more fascinating animal insights. Thanks for watching.